wonder if you was wondering about that video. I'm going to be preaching about a cave today, and I could not find a good enough cave. I was speaking with Brian a while ago, and I told him, I said that that was my weekend trip last week in the cave, swimming around. I told him, I said, that was me with the 2 tanks on the back, but it wasn't. I was trying to find a video with the cave with people walking around in a dark cave, but I couldn't. So that one was in the water. But I guess it served a purpose. Anyway, today we're going to be in 1 Samuel 22. The scriptures will be up there. And Psalms 142. Psalms 142 was written at the time that David was in the cave. If you happen to look in your Bible now or later on, most Bibles at the top say on Psalms 142 that this was a time, this was a prayer of David when he was in the cave or whatever. I do want to, most of y'all can see that things is a little bit different. We're going to continue to change things. And anybody know what this is? Someone said a while ago it looked like a coffin when we come in. Well, this is one heavy little sucker. And wasn't able to move it this week, but I got to praying about that thing, and well, you just got to thinking about it, and I said, great, I can use this thing. And this week, so don't have any power hooked up, so no one's going to get a tan today. But I do want to show you a little something with it. All right. All right, you ready? All right, wait a minute. Go on that side and just kind of lay down in it. Just stand right here. Stand right here. And just kind of sit down and lay in it. All right, turn around. Slide up. There's a pillow.
We had never been in one before.
All right. She had never been. So that works out wonderful. All right. She ain't never been it. All right. You ready? Are you close to it? Huh? Will she get scared or anything?
She should.
All right. I'm gonna drop this thing
For a minute.
just for a minute, okay? Trust me. I'm not gonna hurt you. All right. You see it? You see me? You still see me? You still see me? You good? All right. How you feel? What do you see? You see your reflection. But you can't hardly see a whole lot other than that, can you? Unless you look through this little tiny hole. Is it getting kind of dark in there? Huh? It's getting close, ain't it? What you think about it? It's cool. Well, it's cool. Yeah, that's right. Good job. Thank you. Wonderful. All right. I wanted her to get in there because what we're going to be talking about today is David in a cave. David was a man that most of us know that God even called him a man after his own heart. David was a man that loved the Lord. And David was a man that was not afraid to stand up for God. Of course, he killed Goliath. God led him to kill Goliath. And I think a lot of times this is a lot of people use it as a children's message, but I think it has so much power to it. It's an adult message also. But David defeated the giant a while back from this point. And now David is supposed to be king. But there was a man named Saul that was king of Israel. Kind of another word to say it, a lunatic. He just was crazy. He got jealous over David. A lot of people loved David, and he just got jealous. And he knew that the hand of God was on David. Everybody knew it. But something happened with David. Well, and a lot of times the same thing happens with us. Of course, the title of the message is Climbing Out of Your Cave. I want you to think just for a moment. This is a good little prop. I want you to think for a moment. Have you ever been in something like a cave in your life? Maybe it was through a tragedy. Maybe it's through work. Maybe it's through issues. Maybe it's through problems. Maybe it's through school. Maybe whatever. Have you ever been in a cave experience? Well, when she got in this thing, I kept lowering this thing down. Because when I look at a cave has a small entrance. Most times about big enough for a person to go through. And sometimes it's pretty tight. But the thing about when you're in that cave, you're in somewhere, a place that's dark, dreary, damp. And a lot of times, if you have to live there, it's not pleasant to be there. Well, David at this time had run away. He feared his life. If you would look back, we're not going to go into it, but if you went back to 1 Samuel 21, you see how David left everything. His father, I think in 1 Samuel 16, basically just passed him over. Then his brother rebuked him. King Saul, wanted to kill him. He's got 3,000 warriors that also wanted to kill David. So David felt like that no one cared for him. That everybody was against him. Think about it. Have you ever felt similar to that? Have you ever felt like you was in a cave? You was lonely? You got to think, David, he didn't have a palace to sleep in. He didn't have a comfortable bed or a pillow to lay his head on. He had rocks. He had to sleep on a hard ground. And here's a man that loves the Lord. And now he is in a cave by himself, lonely. And we'll talk about it in a few minutes, but in Psalms 142, we see where David would even seem like he's depressed. He's at a place that he's not used to. More than likely, he is at his lowest point at this time in his life. He's probably never been this low. He's killed bears. He's killed lions. He killed Goliath. But now, he's at a point in his life where it just feels like the world is crashing down around him. I don't know if you've ever been there. I've been there before. I've been there where it seems like, man, the world is just crashing down around me. Everybody's against me. I'm all by myself. I don't have no help. I've been there. But a lot of times, we have them cave-like experiences for reasons in our lives. And today we're going to talk about how in the world can I get out of this cave experience? How can I not feel alone? How can I not be discouraged? How can I not be depressed? And I think if we're really honest with each other, most of us has had some time. It might not be the complete loneliness of the aspect. It might not be completely the depression, where a lot of people goes in depression. It might not be to the extreme. But I think most of us have had some type of these experiences when we were in a cave of life. Now, David was in our little cave. But he's also in a cave of life. So, somehow, David is going to have to get out of this cave. This passage is going to contain some blessings, in a sense, to show us how, when we're in a cave of life, how in the world to get out of it. A lot of times, that's the big picture. A lot of times, we're in that cave of life and we don't know what to do. We don't know how to get out of it.